and that shit was whack. They cut me up. I forgot Instagram doesn't let me do videos more than an hour because I made a joke, or my friend made a joke a couple lives back. So now all my lives are only an hour. They used to be 4 hours. It's whack, man. And I look like the dude from Office Space when he was like, anybody at your job ever say you got a case of the Mondays? Like, hell no, man. It's like, I reckon you get your ass kicked for saying something like that, man. That's how I look like my responses would be. But yeah, I guess I'll let y'all file back in. That shit is whack, man. Instagram is whack for that, bro. Instagram is so lame for that shit. This all will be on patreon.com/Taylor Durden. It's $4 a month. But yeah, some people have never calibrated though. You know what I mean? Like if you've never really experienced real homeostasis, which is no desire, which is being aware of awareness fully, the awareness fully inhabiting the body, then you don't even have you don't have a template to recalibrate to. If you've just been getting high and shit. So there's no recalibration. You have to calibrate at this point. You don't have no reference point really. Cause like, last time people were sober from weed and drinking and shit was when they was a kid and they was probably eating garbage that they were subjected to. So now they get older and they get rid of the garbage, but they still smoke and shit. Because the emotional voids are still there, because the neglect is still there. They neglect themselves still because they were taught to through their parents neglecting them and themselves. So now it's like, you got to quit all these substances while you maintain a healthy meal style or whatever. And then you'll be able to really calibrate the body to experience sobriety, to experience actual consciousness. Because then you have a template to work from. You have to go through a whole process of cleaning the body, you want to strengthen it as much as you can. That's why I still promote working out, so you can keep your bone density. If you work out, if you lift weights and shit, you don't have to do it every day. But if you lift weights two to 4 times a week, your bones will be denser. So then your bone marrow is just, everything's stronger, so your blood flow is stronger because you're going to have denser femurs and denser ulnas and everything. Everything will be denser, so you'll produce more white blood cells. You have more red and white blood cells because your bone marrow, everything will be stronger. All your bones will be dense, more tightly packed, more strong. Because bones are just tissue. So it's just a strong tissue. It's a layer of tissue. So then your template, because you're starting. That's why people say mummies. They could bring the mummy back because it just be the bones and the fucking thing, and you can regenerate back from the bones. Supposedly, hypothetically, right? They mummify you. They take these organs out and all this shit. Take your brain out, but leave the bones where they are, and then you can regenerate from the bones, hypothetically, right? So the bones are really the origin of tissue, the origin of blood, the origin of breath. The breath is plasma, or you say it's ether or whatever. It comes into plasma, and then it just gets denser and denser into bone. And then from the bone, that's like the center, the seed of the fruit. The bone's like the seed of the fruit, and the flesh is like the meat of the fruit. So the stronger the bones are, the stronger the blood flow, the stronger the flow of the breath into the cells. And now, your template's just stronger because your bones are stronger. So I advocate lifting weights, getting your body to the strongest point that you've ever gotten it. Upper body, lower body, everything. You deserve to know what that's like at least once in your life, to know how strong your body can physically be. And then you go on your process of elimination, of removing things in your diet or whatever, still working out, still, even if you have to reduce the calisthenics or light weights, whatever, and you go through a large cleansing phase to really calibrate the system to where, because it takes 7 years for the bones to totally regenerate. So it's a process, man. It'll take weeks to get oil and shit out the body. All of that shit takes weeks and weeks and months for some of these toxins and foods to get out the body. But the bones take 7 years to regenerate. So you got to look at it like a 7-year plan of strengthening the bones, going through different detox phases, different cleansing phases, and then getting stronger and stronger to where you can go on a real methodical, extended cleansing phase, process of elimination phase, I guess you could say, where you're removing things that you don't need. And the more you realize what you don't need, the more confident you'll be. That's why cats can go around not giving a fuck about their owner, because they're like, I don't really need you. I know how to fend for myself. Dogs don't know, generally. They don't know, especially if they're alone and not in a pack. They don't really know what they don't need. So now they're more dependent, and so they're not going to go, so they're not going to stray often. Then some will, but rarely will they stray. Cats, if you let them let them realize their will early on, even maybe later, they'll go because they know they don't need shit. So it's a process of elimination, so you realize what you don't need, whether it be food or people or activities, places, your idea of memories. If you get that whole process is a process of elimination. So you realize what you don't need, and it's a 7-year process. And the trauma, that's, if your bones and food and all of this shit is gonna take 7 years. Trauma is, you at least 7. You're gonna have to give at least 7 years to like rewiring your nervous system to where you approach triggers differently, and you got different remedies for, curbing the false self. So yeah, you gotta strengthen the bones, go through periods of cleansing, changing the diet, eliminating different things in the diet, and then you go on long calibration periods, I should say. We call them cleanses, we can call them fasts, whatever it is, calibration, so that you can realize a more original template from yourself and from the original genetics of man within you that you stem from. So then you could actually recalibrate. Then once you realize that and you've had that sobriety that's real sobriety. Once you've done that, then if you were to fall off the wagon, you're like, oh shit, you have like a real perception. You have real contrast to see, like, I've fallen off this much because I realized real sobriety. I'm getting away from myself. And the more that you do that and get in state, correct yourself, the more that you're going to stay on the path of actual work, of actual functioning, actual expression, and realization, like perpetual realization of will. It's going to be harder to deviate. The more that you realize the will, you be like, okay, it's not a refuge anymore. At one point, fasting for me was like, this is a refuge. This is something like, now I know, like, oh, this is a state of being. Once I've experienced certain shit, I'm like, this is a state of being. It's not like a vacation. It's not a solid food vacation. This is not a refuge. This is just reality. And I'm getting further from reality. Or I'm remaining in it. So, yeah, man, I think it's a process that a lot of people that they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear. They want to just think that, like, if I just change my thoughts today. I'm like, yeah, but if you haven't really processed the whole blockchain of thoughts, you got a bunch of subconscious thoughts and emotions that are not being addressed. So your foundation is still shaky. You have to get back to the space where there is no thought to really even have appreciation for thought, to realize what real thought is, and not conditioning and like an amalgamation of other people's behaviors and thoughts and reactions and language, and then you can really experience real certainty. I feel like, because again, you're in your purpose, so then your movements, there's no waste in the movements. So that's real certainty in that process. That's real action. That's real work. Anything else is just like conceptual. Even if you're in your body's moving, it's like you're still in a conceptual state. You're not really actual. It's all conceptual. And so the body and it doesn't really align with the will. You know what I mean? Because the intentions don't really mean anything if the will is not there. The will is not realized and the body's not aligned with the will. The pathway to hell is lined with good intentions, man. So, I mean, you gotta do shit for yourself. You know, really, like, you gotta look at it like a lot of people will not even quit weed and shit unless they have a job that they need to quit weed for, or quit, you know, or they have like, they get into a relationship and they be like, you need to stop drinking or I'll leave you or something. Like, do that shit for yourself. And then you might not even like this person. You know what I mean? Do that shit for yourself first. And then, because like, otherwise then like your job is your God. Like whatever structuring your life is your God. If it's fear of losing the job, so you don't smoke weed because of that, then it's not that you don't want to smoke weed. You still have this addiction. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't do it for yourself. You did it for your God, for your job, which is there to support your false self and the creature comforts that come with that. You know, you get it, like, when you're your false self and then you indulge in sensual satisfaction or sensual abuse, basically, it's like a vacation from yourself. You like, oh, cool, I get to eat this and turn myself off. Drink this, turn myself off. Smoke this, turn myself off. It's a vacation. Like, it's a vacancy. And that's really what evil is. Evil is vacancy. You know, they say idle hands is the devil's workshop and shit. It's vacancy. You know what I mean? Vacation. People are vacant. And that's how anything festers. Just through a vacancy. So, you gotta look at, like, are people structuring their life based on their relationship with creation, with the creator, with the originator, and their respect for the pattern of creation, or they structure their life out of fear, some sort of fear of losing something of the world, you know. And then the more that you're afraid like that, the more tired you become, and you going into dementia. Because you gotta go into dementia to even support the false self. To that magnitude, at least. Like, now you're too tired to really experience real gratitude. You know? And that's what I wanted to say in the beginning, as far as like seeing your support system. Like, say you got apples, oranges, dates, and, you know, some homemade almond milk or some shit, right? But then you know, you're on your journey and you see something that might taste better. So you go over to what you think tastes better. It's what you think tastes better. It don't taste better. It numbs your taste. It's salt. It's a bunch of seasonings and shit that's numbing your ability to taste, to really navigate. So you go away into that and then you taste. Now you're now depleted. So now, after experiencing that, you're not depleted, you're dehydrated, you're going into dementia. Now you're in a space where you can want something. Your body wants moisture, it wants water, it wants breath, it wants rest to heal. So, or, you know, it wants stillness. I shouldn't say rest. Rest is death. So, like, now you're in a state of desire. Whereas, like, if you just have that one apple when you're supposed to have it or whatever, then you have a date or whatever, then you do some breath work or whatever, then you go on your journey and you're doing things accordingly. So then now you, like, because certain, you know, now you can go, now say you get to a point where you fasting even more, doing even more breath work. Now you're like, I don't need these apples. You give the apples to someone. Somebody that's in a state where they eating apples. And then they get to experience, like, wow, somebody gave me something. And then giving is actually the process of receiving. Putting yourself in a position to give is actual reception. So you give, the person receives, they experience some gratitude, some residual gratitude from you being grateful for yourself, to put yourself in a position to give. They experience residual gratitude from that. And then now you're like a pattern for them. They can look to you as a pattern, maybe not, but they experience that. So now maybe they eat the apples, and then they learn some more, and then they give that up. It's just like somebody might give you something that you don't eat, or you might have something that you no longer want to eat. Say you want to quit meat, and you just like, yo, I could throw this away, or I could give this to someone that eats that right now, and then they can experience my ability to no longer need something. Allows me to be grateful for my will and myself. Now they get experience residual gratitude from that, and then they get to sustain themselves based on where their false self is at. They eat that, and then now they be like, man, they can't live their life acting like somebody never gave them something. But it has to be genuine like that. Like if somebody's just giving you shit out of fear, some people, like a lot of parents be giving their kids shit because they don't want to look bad in the community to other parents. It's not because they really care about the kid. They like, oh shit, I gotta give him this. I gotta keep this kid at this weight or whatever, because then people look at me a certain way. So I'm doing this out of guilt and fear instead of actually giving them what they need and taking away what they don't need and stuff like that. So you give somebody that chicken or something. They eat the chicken, they feel gratitude. Now they realize, like, man, I was just supported. Somebody just, life be giving me shit. I shouldn't be complaining. That's if they're honest with themselves. And then the more they're honest with themselves, the more they be like, they'll come into us. Now they meet somebody else and they be like, I split my chicken with you. It was given to me anyway. And then it just spreads. And then they be like, I don't need this. And then it's more and more of, I don't need this. This is all I need. I only take what I need, and I give what I need to give appropriately. I'm not oversharing. I share appropriately, and I give and I take appropriately, or receive rather. Taking is a different thing. Kinda. A lot of people into taking. You know what I mean? Like, what can I take to beat this or beat that? Like, what can you give to beat that shit? People are like, what do I need to take to stop smoking? What do I need to take to beat this disease? But you need to give something. And that'll begin your process of receiving. Because you'll receive yourself, because you're now in the process of giving. So now you can experience yourself more, because that's the true state of giving. That's the true state. The creator originator is just giving perpetually, just the creditor. It's not looking for credit. It's not like God or the creator would be like, yo, give me credit for that right there. It's like, I'm constantly giving credit. I don't need you to give me no credit for nothing. I give credit. You know what I mean? So going into that likeness, you realize yourself, because you realize in the likeness of the creator, and you're more in alignment with yourself through that experience. So then your whole perspective of life changes. Otherwise, you're just going to have jaded inventory. You be like, I got these apples and grapes and shit, but I want this motherfucking, this veggie burger. I want to go out to eat and have this shit. You know what I mean? So now you create the lack, you spend the money you didn't need to spend, you could have just ate the apple. So now you're in a lack position. Now you reach a crossroads where you could have helped someone and gave them something, but now you like, oh, nah, I'm scavenging now. Now I got to resort to the things I didn't want. Now I got to eat all of the apples and grapes and dates or whatever I had. I didn't really want it, but now I need it, instead of being able to be in a position to share it. And then if you do go through your resources and completely use them, and then you use all your knowledge, whether it be breath work, whatever crafts you know, and you exchange with life like that through the breath, through your crafts, and you fully consume your resources, or process your resources rather, then now you're in a place where life knows what you know. It's the same thing with resources as it is with messages. I notice, like, if I leave messages unread, I'm not getting as many new messages. I gotta really. It's like the Tao Te Ching says, when they ask the master, he answers. It's like if I don't answer the shit, if people message me and I don't answer them, it's like a bunch of backlog and my static in my body. So like if I address the shit, address all the messages, go through that shit. Then life knows, like, well, I did everything I could. Now life takes it from there. Some people say, like, give it to God at that point. Whatever, however you want to look at it, life takes it from there. So I've done everything I could. Do your work and then step back is the way Wu Wei. So you're going through that process of realizing, you know what I mean, of accuracy. You know, the more accurate you are with your work, the more that you know when to step back. The more that you overshare and shit, the more that you don't know when to stop. So you don't even know when you've won, so then you become a loser. So it's really a process, man, of elimination. And then really seeing the objective care and support that you have to where you can share in the likeness of the Creator and realize the patterns so that you actually addressing shit on time. You know what I mean? It's like so many times I feel like people ask God for shit or pray for shit, and then the response is already, the answer was there before they even asked, because the question and the answer are really not separate. So now they're looking for some other response, but the shit was already there. Wait, like the truth ain't like ever. It's never really hiding. It's like if it's not actually present within books around you or people around you, then you're gonna get it through dreams, or your dreams are gonna make you connect to people and things that are gonna bring this shit to the surface. So yeah, you know, people message me, I address all the messages. I get resources, I fully use the resources and share them fully, and then life is like, all right, you have nothing, no, you're not holding anything. Now I'm giving you a whole new set of resources and responsibility, which is a responsibility, support. Now life's like, all right, now we'll see how you exchange with life, and we'll see if you deserve the next phase, you know, of I guess forward trajectory. I don't want to say upward or downward, but just forward. Otherwise, it's like, oh, you didn't manage this shit right now. You get the same shit or maybe a little less. To where now it's like paramount that you need to learn how to share and learn how to be humble to receive, so that you can put yourself in position to share more. And I feel like I've done it wrong enough times to see, like, okay, all right, this is what's going on. It's really subtle, but it's mad obvious. Like, you know, you'd be like, nah, I could go out to eat right now, but I have these few apples here I could eat, and I could just do some breath work and go to bed. Or I could go out to eat, the apples rot, and life is like, oh, you don't deserve nothing. Now you deserve even less, so that now you're forced to see what you've done and what you haven't done. And so, you know, the ingredients change as you manage them correctly, you know. And it's not just objects, it's people, you know, people come into your life, and resources, and in your own energy surfaces more. And I noticed that with the whole creative process, man. If I'm just like holding on to shit and looking to where like I should be getting this right now, then I don't even get the thoughts. Don't even like now I'm not paying attention to the blockchain, because there's a thought that's supposed to come next to move me forward, because thoughts are like signs on a roadmap, you know. So if I'm getting the next thought in line, because I'm aware of the blockchain, then I know, like, okay, this is bringing me further than myself. Then now something has occurred to me that I can share with the world, and then I get more resources through that process. But the more I'm like, motherfuckers ain't showing no love, yo. I ain't about to give motherfuckers nothing. They don't deserve nothing. Again, they don't need nothing from me. You know what I mean? And then I'm not even really realizing that there's a thought, like a traffic jam of shit that's supposed to be occurring to me. And I'm not fluid enough to give, you know, because again, dehydration. You know, the more hydrated you are, the more the emotional, you have a lubricant in your system for the thoughts and emotions to flow. And then, you know, yourself is usually on the other side of that process of like experiencing real thought, not regurgitated bullshit, and actually processing your emotions. Fully experiencing the whole breath, not just shallow breaths. You know what I mean? And the more that you do conscious full breaths, the more that your unconscious breaths are more full. If you just breathe shallow all the time, then your unconscious breathing, like when you're asleep, is even more fucking shallow, and then you having night terrors, and then you don't remember your dreams, or it's just fragmented and all the dreams are random and all over the place. But if you control your breathing, you hydrate it, you're addressing things as they come, you don't let shit fester, then you get access to yourself, to your divinity, or to your origin, to your power. And now you actually dream, you're actually living. You know what I mean? That's what I was saying. Like, people, it's very specific. The foods they eat are this perfect specific thing they need to block out their dreams, because they don't want to remember the memories. They got a bunch of memories they got to go through first in order to get to actual dreaming. Actual dreaming is living. What we're doing is sleeping and forgetting. Sleep is forgetting. Sleep, people treat sleep like a drug. It's something that they do unconsciously, and it makes them feel better. It's the same thing as fucking drinking. It's the same fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like, so if we used to do that more consciously, we would actually address our memories. We'd really experience them. Start to go back in the blockchain. You get maybe back to birth, womb, pre-birth, past life, whatever you want to call it. Then now you see in the loop. Now you can start to see the loop. Now you can start to break the loop. Now you can actually move forward, because you actually start to live. What we're calling dreaming is actual life. That's real life. This is an extension of real life. This is actually a dream. People call it a simulation or whatever, but this is an extension of reality. Heaven is reality. Life, reality, eternity, heaven, that's all synonymous. This is an extension. Death is an extension of life. A dream is death. We're in a dream now. We're in an extension of life. And so the more that you get through the memories and you realize, like, I just watched that fucking show Lost. And at the end, the dude, spoiler alert, the dude, he realized that he died. He was like, oh shit, because he's in a room where a bunch of people were dead. And he's like, what are y'all doing here? How you here, Dad? And he's like, oh shit, I died. Then he realized he died. And then he realized, like, oh shit, like, how are we all here together? He was like, this is a place, this is a life or simulation that we created collectively as a soul group to remember each other, to remember ourselves, so that if we ever did forget ourselves or forget that we passed or whatever, we can move on, once we find each other in this simulation, whatever, this dream. So he realized, like, oh shit, I died. So he's like, oh shit, I died. Okay, so all right, so now we're gonna move on to the next thing. And I was just remembering that I died, and he started to recall, like, oh, these are the memories. While he's in the dream state, he's remembering his life, and he's realizing, like, oh, my life, death is an extension of my life that happened, and now I gotta recall that so that I can actually start to live again, so I can realize where my life is, where my will actually is. And then again, that's my next book is going to be about the quantum physics, the quantum nature of will. And some terms I can't even use in this because I don't want to give away anything. I want to put it all together. I don't want to use certain terms. So that's really where we at, and people are in a state now where they're just in a loop. They're in a job. They're gonna now, like, infuse themselves into this artificial blockchain and become one with that, and their will is gonna be stamped into that. And self-willing, they'll maybe get through that and be able to come out on the other side. And that's a paper shredder process, basically. It's like you gotta look at the collective or the oneness of the macro and the micro. It's like if there is an originator and we're all in a reflection of that likeness, you look at things in your life that you're like, okay, this works. I'm going to keep using this. I'm gonna recycle this. This doesn't work. I'm gonna incinerate this. I'm throwing this in the garbage. And it's the same thing with people. It's like we align with the incinerator, the shit to be turned into fertilizer for the next stage of the loop, or we go through the recycling process where we transform and we actually repurpose. We live our purpose out, and it's like, okay, I'll recycle myself, like, because there's no separation between your will and the universal or original will. So now it's like, I don't want to destroy it. I don't want to incinerate this. It knows itself. It's a functional thing. So I'm going to recycle it, repurpose it. And now it gets another experience, moves forward. Instead of something that's just turned into ashes and shred, and now it's just fragmented and it returns like in a zombie form, basically. And that's what most of us are, and are in the cycle of that. And for whatever reason, we feel like we don't deserve to fucking to live our purpose. And that's the only thing. People don't. They punish themselves, or something happened in their life. They punish themselves for it, and then as they continue to punish themselves, it's like the oneness with the Creator. The Creator's like, well, if you punishing yourself, I guess you deserve punishment. You deserve to be shred. So it's yours. So okay, you say so. I'm gonna give you the will to punish yourself, and I'll be the executive to execute that for you. You know, and it's like, instead of punishing yourself, you discipline yourself, and then you reward yourself for keeping true to yourself. Otherwise, you lie to yourself, then it's impossible to have trust with yourself or others, and now you going into the incinerator. Because life don't trust you, because you don't trust you. How life's supposed to trust you? How's the originator or you don't match the original pattern at all. So there's no symbiosis there. There's no oneness with the original pattern. You don't reflect that. So now you don't get to share in that or experience that. You don't get no eternity. You just stay in an infinity and in a loop. So, yeah, man. I think it's kind of funny. It's like that meme I posted the other day. It's like, the therapist is like, love yourself. And I'm like, I'm not my type. And it's so funny, man. Because, like, I wouldn't want to be another motherfucker, but I'd be complaining about being who I am. You know? And it's, I don't know, it's like I shouldn't be mad about whatever the perceived shortcomings or whatever it is. It's like I should be, like, I used to be mad about certain things. Shaping my nose and shit like that, and I still, every day I can be triggered by it if I focus on it. And I'd be like, yo, I should just be grateful that I have a nose to breathe in. I should be grateful that I have eyes to see. I fucking, different periods of my life, I could see my vision dipping, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get back. And so it's like, I gotta be more grateful. I'm not being grateful. I'm throwing away something that's like very basic. And I was telling the homie that was staying here. I was like, he like trying to fucking be a rock star and shit. I'm like, that's all well and good. You want to express yourself, and you want people to express themselves. You want to inspire them. Whatever. But bro, you got to do little shit first, or you're going to never be able to express yourself correctly anyway. It's always going to be hindered because the little things, the foundation, the building blocks are all off. They're all off kilter. So like, you got to appreciate the little stuff first. Motherfucker be like, you know what, I don't really give a fuck about my vision, I can put glasses on. I don't really give a fuck about reality, I can put VR on, or I can look at my phone, or I can watch TV. And it's just a slippery slope, bro. You just get further away from your real likeness, which is the likeness of the originator. So, you know what I mean? And now now I got to a point, you know, where I was looking for loyalty in motherfuckers that I have no loyalty from me. I'm expecting it from other people. I'm looking for returns in places that don't exist. The return's not coming that way. I'm not loyal to me. How the fuck am I going to get it? You know what I mean? And that's why I love dogs. Because they show me a loyalty like that I didn't experience in myself. And the more that I had to take care of them, times I fucked up with taking care of them. And I see like, damn, my loyalty's under question now. Like, am I really loyal? They so loyal to me, and I don't want to fucking abuse that, or I don't want to let them down. And then I start to see the loyalty in myself. I can be loyal, and I can be gentle, and I can be caring. I don't have, you know what I mean? Like, because the more I lost trust for myself, the more I just could see myself as being like the worst characteristics. Me at my worst is what I saw myself at all the time. Because I experienced my worst, so I'm just like, oh, that's what I am all the time. And I don't trust me at all because that's what I am all the time. And I'm not associated with my will, so because I don't want the responsibility. So since I have no will and I'm not associated with it, I don't deserve no trust because I could be so horrible. Because I've seen the capacity for terribleness that I've displayed. And it's like, I'm not even giving myself a chance to build the trust. So I never built the credit up for myself. And then, then it just was perpetual self-punishment, And so I just wasn't, and I saw no value in me, you know what I mean? And so, because I had no experience of the eternity in me. A value is eternity. The eternity is what creates the value in anything. A person, they make songs or whatever the fuck they do, that shit's all stemming, that's a residual effect from them experiencing eternity within themselves. Anything original coming out that moves people, that's like really inspiring, that shit is all an experience of eternity within the person, and we all just getting residual effects of them experiencing that shit. All value is just reality. Reality is just eternity. And right now we're in a residual reality. In this dream. Or dream within a dream. Whatever you want to call it, man. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, so I just wasn't being intimate with myself. And it's impossible you lie to yourself. It's like, I don't want to touch myself. Like, in a real way. I don't want to actually create. That's really touching myself. Not fucking masturbating my senses. Like, actually, real intimacy. It's like, and that fasting complements that, and real intimacy brings about fasting. Like, if you was to actually go through the process of real intimacy with yourself, and then was afforded yourself the responsibility of doing it with someone else, and then y'all go through the creative process of having a baby, that shit will murder your appetite. Because first of all, you're not living for yourself at all. So your appetite will be murdered. Your sensual appetite will be murdered. And then fasting is just the byproduct of that, of the creative process of self-intimacy. So otherwise you end up doing the Khazarian section. You creating these scars. You know what I mean? Like, and that's like the wake of trauma. A scar is like the wake of trauma. And that's what like a C-section is. A cesarean section is really a Khazarian section. You know what I mean? And the Khazars is, if you know anything about the Khazar, if you know anything, you know about the Khazars. And mad people, it's like 50% of births is Khazarian section now. You know, they call it cesarean, but Caesar is Khazar. New Jersey was Little Caesarea. Little Caesarea, whatever. Little Khazaria. And so I'm just saying, like, if you know the shit, man, these terms, and you know the history, then you can see that, like, the players in the game, and you can see the loop, and you know how to play your hand, man, or how to play chess, whatever you want to look at it, man. And I mean, the less content you are, though, the more risk you're gonna take. Do you feel like, yo, this food ain't good enough, this ain't good enough, I'm gonna try this new shit. Try this new shit. And then a lot of times you get away from yourself, you know what I mean? Then you got people doing anal and shit like that. You got people eating crazy foods and shit like that. Because they're not content with basic shit because they have numbed themselves. Because the numbing process allows you to desire, and people love the pursuit, the happiness of pursuit. They like to chase. They don't like to really get the thing. They like to just chase the thing. It's a dog behavior. You know what I mean? But again, it's just not. It's not really dreaming, not really living. So then, when you wake up, you think this is life. So then, sensual reality is the end. That's the limit on your life. This is what life reality is. You know what I mean? That's why people is insomniacs. Somnia means dream in Latin. We sleep, but we don't really dream. We don't really live. So we insomniacs. So people lay down, they pass out, but they're not really insomnia. They're not with insomnia, I mean. So they're insomniacs. They're not in dreams. They're not experiencing. They're not inside themselves, really. So we get what we get, man. And I don't know, like with the homie today, man. I think he really wants to be important to other people in order to feel important to himself, which is fucking crazy, bro. And I think a lot of people are going through it, but bro, you can't control how important you are to someone. You can't really control who you love or who loves you, really. Like, if you think you can make someone love you or make someone hold you in a high regard, like I'm gonna make me be important to you, like that's like the craziest projection. Because then it's like now you let other people do that to you because you make that your reality, that people can insist their importance in your life. You can make yourself valuable by being yourself and being a chain or like a lamppost of reality, like a lighthouse for reality. But you can't make motherfuckers respect the shore. They can see the lighthouse, but they're like, "Fuck, I'm just keep going. I'll crash the ship onto shore." You know, you can't make them respect it. If you think you can, if you need to make people respect you in order for you to respect you, if you need other motherfuckers to be like, "Yeah, you're important," for you to be like, "I'm important. I'm valuable. I matter," then you're gone, man. It's like, I don't know, like I feel like I know I'm funny, man. I'm hilarious. You know what I mean? That's kind of what sometimes I think would make me be like, fuck it, I don't need to go tell jokes. But I do want to share certain jokes, so I you know what I mean? I feel like when I get into the spirit of sharing the jokes and some shit occurs to me that's funny, I want to share it. But like I can make myself laugh, bro, alone. I can entertain myself alone pretty well. You know what I mean? And then I think that's how you be. You know, I got into a spot though where I would be like, this is all I'm good at is entertaining. So then I like hyper focused on that, and that was all I felt like anybody could love me for. So if I wasn't being entertaining, I felt like every relationship, as soon as I stopped being entertaining, then I was not lovable no more. But I can't control if a motherfucker love me or not. You know what I mean? I try to be mean to a motherfucker and they just be like, yo, it don't matter what you do. You know what I mean? And so what you gonna do? Just keep trying to hurt somebody like that? Then you really hurt yourself. But yeah, man. And it's like you gotta look at it like a false self relationship with yourself, like being so tied in a relationship, bound by a relationship to your false self, or being in a relationship with someone that reflects that. Then all your other relationships are gonna suffer. With your family, your siblings or whatever, your real friends, all that shit gonna suffer. But if you're actually in good graces with yourself, with your true self, and with another person, significant other, then your relationship with other people is not gonna suffer. It's not gonna spill, because that shit is gonna spill into other people's lives if you're not in your relationship with yourself correctly, or with your, whoever you keeping close. So people that bring you away from the moment, like I think a lot of that is people don't want to be in a moment, so they be with people that like cater to the illusions. So, but the moments bring you to the moment. I mean, the problems bring you to the moment. Like going through conflict together brings you to the moment. Like rather bad times are good people, because then you're gonna go through those conflicts, but you're gonna stay in the moment. Whereas you're going through good times with shitty people, it's not really a good time. So, I guess last couple of things I want to say, man, like, I know the homie that was here, like, he kind of reflects a lot of people in today. But, Just because a motherfucker sees you for who you are and they appreciate for who you really are, that doesn't mean they hating on who you think you are or who you want to be. Because, like, you know, it'll be times where people be, like, addressing who I really am, and I'll be, like, puffed up in my mind, who big in my head who I think I am. And I think they hating on that motherfucker, and I'll be defending this illusion instead of being like, yo, they're actually really appreciating who I really am. So, I don't know. I just, you know, just because a motherfucker loves who you are don't mean they hate who you think you are, who you want to be. And, yeah, man. Last thing I guess I wanted to say was, I was talking to my dad about this shit, because then my parents getting older. I was talking to him about, like, death and his dad dying and shit. And, because he was there when his dad died. And I was like, man, when he was dying, I'm not cool with his family, you know what I mean? His dad was racist or whatever. So, and since my mom wasn't the color or the genetic background that was approved of, I didn't ever get to know him. But my dad's dad, he had cancer, and he chose not to do chemo, and he stayed alive way longer than they said he would. And then, so he gradually passed away. My dad, like, was, like, checking in on him. My dad worked in a nursing home. He see people die all the time. So, like, I was like, how was that for you watching your dad die, man? You know what I mean? Like, I know you had to be, like, fear, like, I'm never going to see this person again. But at the same time, you, like, got relief, because you don't want them to be in pain and suffering. So it's like this combo of like, death is like this combo of fear and relief. And, like, I seen it with my dog. When my dog was dying, I was like, I don't want you to go away forever. I'm so afraid of you never being here again. But I don't want you to be in pain. So when you go, it's such a mixed thing of relief and fear. And I just feel like if you're just super relieved, then I feel like that's how you can be guilty. You're like, oh shit, I'm glad this motherfucker dead. Then you kind of can feel, I guess that's how guilt can, like, fester. Or if you, like, super afraid, then you know, there must be some guilt already, because, like, the fear is there. Because you maybe missed opportunities, so you don't want them to go because you didn't take care of things correctly. So now you're so afraid of them going that, and then they pass, and now you're really afraid. So then, because you're really guilty. So, and if you wanted them to die, I guess, then you're just relieved. So you feel guilty kind of because of that, whether you ignore it or not. So, yeah, man. Oh, damn, I had one more thing. I said connection is the opposite of attachment. It's like, do you see them or do you see who you want them to be? I guess it tied into what I was saying about the homie. Yeah, connection is the opposite of attachment, man. I mean, that's it, man. Connection can't die. Attachment does die, inevitably. So, and I was talking about comparative inspiration. I was like, if someone has actually inspired themselves and experienced inspiration in their environment to a certain magnitude, if y'all have had shared comparative inspiration, then you can actually form a bond. If a person hasn't been inspired themselves or experienced inspiration comparatively to you, then the bond just cannot be strong. So, I think that's it. The rest of this shit is just jokes. Yeah, lack of knowledge is neglect, which translates into trauma. Neglect equals lack of knowledge, which equals trauma. And dream comes from the word trauma. We're living in a trauma. We've forgotten the memories that are blacked out from dissociation from trauma, and we're in a dream within a dream, remembering those traumas, those dreams, those memories, so that we can realize life again, perpetually. Time, space, and distance. Time is just the fourth dimension. You know what I mean? You got, what is it? The three dimensions is length, width, and height. Right? I think, right? And then time is the fourth dimension. Just going through these questions and comments. Yo, man, December 7th, man. Come through. December 7th. You know what I mean? Everybody that can come. I'm an hour outside of Fresno. It should be a good time, man. We're going to have a good time. Since it's a granite rock where we'll be at, it heats up all day, so it stays warmer throughout the night. And that time of year is usually dry, and we're getting pretty good sun. Especially because it's between a new moon and a full moon, kind of. Full moons are colder and more precipitation, so it'll be nice. It'll still be a waxing moon, so it'll be good for people dabbling in the pattern making substances, and it'll be good for breath work. It'll be good for quality dreaming. Fear comes from people's idea of dying. Yep, that's it, man. You're only afraid to die when you're not living right, though. And your perception of death is not right when you're not living right, so. Yeah, I do need a translator, right? Let me cut this fucking thing off, bro. This joint is fucking crazy. Now I look like a cop. Before I looked like I was on some 70s shit. Now I look like a straight cop. Oh, let me get these sideburns down though. I'm gonna get to these sideburns when I got a better angle. This soul patch is hilarious though. I gotta get rid of it to be a real cop. License and registration. Oh, I can't take me serious, bro. Yeah, there's more melanin in your nervous system than in your skin, yeah, but the more the merrier. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. If I was to be doing stand-up with this mustache or the fucking handlebar mustache, and I'm just like, yo, I'm black, yo. I was doing that in Atlanta, and people was laughing. I'm like, yo, that's not the fucking joke, yo. Listen, I'm about to hit y'all with the joke. I think it's hilarious, man. I'm incognito for real. Yeah, man. I'm gonna check these questions. Just looking at these comments, man. And since we lost the last live, anybody that commented in there, lost your shit, bro. Lost your fucking comment because fucking Instagram's whack. So you can comment again. Yeah, the more you appreciate, bro. I put it on motherfucking hoodies and pants. If y'all want a sweatsuit, this is hilarious with this mustache. If you want a sweatsuit that says the more you appreciate, I'll make it for you. Handmade, I got you, bro. Hey, what's up, lady? It's hilarious, right? Yeah. People did get the shot, the stabby. They silly as fuck, bro. Yeah, I do need to create some cookies, some fortune cookies. Buddy bars, you said? That's hilarious. Damn. Hold on, I gotta go to the top. I gotta go to the top of the comments. Yo, shit. There's so many fucking comments here. Damn, stop commenting, motherfuckers, so I get to the top. Just for a second. Alright, working my way down. Yo, somebody ever play you some shit and they're like, yo, this is about to hit right here, and you be like, bruh, I don't want to say nothing bad, but the thing is, there's so many people out here that you could get an audience that you can't even hate on a motherfucker, yo. There's people still listening to Tech Nine right now. I would never put that shit on in my car or anywhere, in any circumstance, but he's still getting money, still touring. It's crazy. Can't even hate on him. You don't get in touch with your emotions when you drink or smoke. you make yourself more vacant, and maybe like the filters down to where you can, they'll come through, but it's not gonna. You're not actually processing the emotions. They're just fucking running through. They're just controlling you. They're not being transmuted. You know what I mean? They're just like spinning around. You might go through that and be like, oh shit, I'm fucking anxious, or I'm sad, and I need to do something about it. And then you start to be virtuous in your actions, and then you start to catch your breath a little bit. But most people just keep drinking and smoking. Wait, what? Yeah, man. Shit, I guess. It's hilarious. I feel like this is a really good video. My mustache was so terrible the whole time. Yeah, you get the apples at Target. Your body, if anything's fake, right? Your body's gonna make it real. So you want to get more real things, so it doesn't have to do too much to make shit real. So the more real it is, the less work your body has to do to communicate with it. But no matter what it is, that's why white sugar is so dangerous. And that's what I'm saying. Melanin is its nature is to commune and make things one. So that's why a lot of melanated people can fall into addiction, because their nature is to make things wholesome. So they eat shit, white flour, white sugar, cocaine, whatever. You know what I mean? Your ashes are white from your smoking. All that shit, you're getting fragmented shit. You're not getting whole coca leaves. You're not getting the whole sugar beet or the sugar cane. You're not getting the whole thing. You're not eating the weed in its whole form. So now your body's got to make that shit complete so that it can be processed and then pass through. So whatever you get, your body's going to make it real, because you are reality. So you put it in you make it real. Yeah, when you die, you just wake up from a dream where you died. Yeah, I got this Cheech and Chong mustache. I'm Cheech Marin right now. I am as the imaginary friend. Yeah, I guess ultimately, like, there is no self or other. So you can say, like, the self is objective reality. It is the collective self, however you want to look at it. But bloodlines being what they are, it's like you're in a blockchain of genetics. So you have your space. And if you knew yourself, then you knew that you are your own ancestor, because your children are your ancestors. So you know yourself fully, and you know all your lifetimes, all your memories. Then you could because again, the past is a result of the present. The past comes out of the present. And the future is a reflection of the past. So in order to access the past, you have to go through the present. And you can't access the present until you go through your memories. So you have to go through all your memories and realize, your pre-birth and all of that shit. Then you go through, because again, we're like a VHS or a cassette tape. You can record over it and over and over and put 5 movies on the shit. Only one movie will play when you put the VHS in. You put the VHS in, you recorded fucking Anchorman over top of Last Action Hero. But Last Action Hero is still underneath of that. It's just layered. So you got all these movies on top of each other, but they're still there. They ain't go nowhere. And then there's these the government uses it when they want to wipe drives and stuff. It's a magnetic device that wipes that shit. You can like put hard drives under this magnetic frequency that makes it just wipes the shit, wipes the memory off of shit. And so that's the reset that happens inevitably in this loop. So you have to get in touch with your Akashic records. Oh, my shit about to die. You gotta get in touch with your Akashic records, though. The metaphysical you, the eternal you, so that it doesn't matter if your hard drive gets wiped. You can just reinstall in the next body that you come into. Taylor Durden Patreon.com/Taylor Durden, man. Patreon.com/Taylor Durden. It's $4. You get at least 4 hours a month. And December 7th, man. December 7th, we going up, man.